Now who the heck is ready for us to go drive and get miles on the all-wheel drive Type R? I know I sure am, and I'm freaking excited for it. So the first thing that we need to do, we got a couple coolant leaks. So I have a whole list right here. Let me just show you guys our list. So we got that taken care of. AN leaks, bleed the clutch and brakes. I'm waiting on clamps for the intercooler pipe couplers. We got to wire in the fans, and that's it. So 3 little things to get taken care of on the all-wheel drive Type R, the world's first all-wheel drive Type R, K24, and I'm freaking stoked. So I've decided, and I've never done this before, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drain all of the water out of the cooling system. I do have water in it right now because with the brand new build, there's always bound to be either a tiny leak or big leaks like we have here. I'm gonna drain all the water out, and I'm actually gonna be smoke testing the cooling system. That way we don't have to deal with water, we just deal with smoke. This is why I always like to use water right off the bat. Gets a little bit messy draining it a couple times if you have to. All right, so how this thing works, it's actually pretty cool. So of course this goes positive, negative. There's oil in here and it heats up. We have an air regulator here. This plugs into a compressed air source, and it blows smoke out this hose, and it allows you to find the smallest of leaks. All right, she's clicked on, and you'll see here in a second we'll start to get smoke coming out of here. I'm just gonna plug it right into the filler neck, the overflow hose. You guys see it starting to smoke a little bit. It gets pretty aggressive. Let's plug her in. Well boys, to actually do the smoke test on a cooling system, kind of spaced it, but you would have to pull the thermostat. So it's not really a good option unless we had water in the car, got it warm, and then smoke tested it. I already have a pretty good idea of what's leaking, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that fixed. All right, we got all the coolant leaks fixed. Those are all good to go. A couple new AN fittings, and we're in the clear. I'm making a vow to myself right now to never cheap out on AN fittings again, because it's a nightmare when they leak. It's just annoying. And they're not that much cheaper. I am noticing just sitting in this car while it idles, I'm letting it warm up a little bit, and I know we need to do some engine braking. It seems like these motor mounts are a little stiffer than I would like, so I might have to do some rearranging with motor mount stiffness. All right, so what I'm gonna do is come into the fan control, and I'm gonna enable it above 100 degrees. and disable below 90. Set them super low, just so we don't have to get this thing all the way up to temp to see if my wiring is proper. So it should be coming on right now, as far as I know. Trigger source, disable and engine stopped. I have that deselected. All right, let me figure this out. All right, just did a quick janky wiring setup for the fans. So we'll see if I got that right. If I did, when I pull the core support off next, we can make that harness very nice. While I am experiencing a massive turn of events, all of a sudden the starter circuit on the car does not work. And I have yet to figure out why. I've been at it for a couple hours now. I said a couple days ago that wiring I was getting better at, but clearly this issue is showing me that I'm still not very skilled with wiring, because it should be resolved by now. But just know I'm struggling over here. I'll figure it out eventually, but it's kicking my ass right now. It is 2 minutes later after the last clip, and I just figured it out. So it was fuse 21 in the interior, which fuse 21 is for, it says ACG. Do not know what that is, and I don't know why it was blown and it randomly blew, but clearly the starter is also on that circuit, because now we can go ahead and hit the starter button and we get power to the starter. Sweet. It's always a fuse, always something simple. I'm ashamed to say that took forever to figure out, but I printed out the entire starter circuit and started just checking everything, and it showed that it went to fuse 21, and that was a problem. All right, back in action. Also, one thing that I did fix that was kind of annoying is before you'd have to hit this button like 40 times, the stop button, and now you just hit it once. So that's cool. Let's fire her up. Got the fans working. So the thermo fan output active state needs to be high, and drive type needs to be high. If it's low, it's outputting a ground signal. And if you go active state high, drive type high, you'll hear that we now have fan. Perfect. That was one of the last things. I'm gonna go ahead and do a bit of cam braking. So what we're gonna do is fire up the car, get it up to decent coolant temps, and then vary the RPM from 2 to 3,000 for 20 minutes. And then I'm gonna go ahead and kill the engine, let it cool down, drain the oil, put fresh oil in it, and we can hit first drive. Decided to go ahead, pull the front clip back off, cleaned up all the cuts for the intercooler piping, redid all of the wiring for the fan, so now it's way cleaner. Let's get this guy back on. Being that all of the cooling system leaks are fixed, we can put actual coolant in it, get it bled out, and then bleed clutch brakes, hit the road for the first time. Second time, but technically kind of the first time.
Oh, we don't have brakes?
So after well over 1,000 hours I've calculated into this project, we officially hit the first drive for more than 5 feet. Went around the block, I put maybe a mile on it, and I know it should feel like a step in the right direction, which it is. I also feel very defeated because now nothing other than the motor and trans works. So none of the body control modules work. The ABS is not working, and I can't even connect to any of these modules. ABS, electric brake system, airbag system, the body control module itself, electric power steering, none of that works when I know before we did the shaved and tucked bay and all that good stuff, everything did work. So it sounds like we have some sort of massive wiring problem, which I'm not looking forward to chasing down. Obviously we came this far, so of course I'm not gonna give up, but it feels like a massive step in the right direction and at the same time, a massive step in the backwards direction as well. But overall, the car drove decently. Of course, it does need a tune. Clutch needs to be bled better. Brakes kind of felt like shit, so we need to bleed those better. But I did go around the block and nothing leaks. Trans feels great. It ran good, other than it needs a tune. So of course I'm excited about that, but man, oh man, this wiring, I'm not looking forward to. I'm gonna wrap it up right here, guys. Take a little break, get my mental state clear, and then I gotta figure out this wiring problem before anything else.